you just see at the time of purchase, this is very important to understand. Whatever I just explained, within that specific point in time, I mean that what we call within the fraction of minutes or seconds, what we call is the authorization. It means the authorization flow is like this. Cardholder, that is what I exactly explained to you. Please, no, I will read it for you. Cardholder swipes or dips card at the merchant location, that is the restaurant. The acquirer asks the payment brand network to determine the issuer. The payment brand network, I mean the acquirer is the bank which the merchant is connected, right? The payment brand network, that is the Visa, MasterCard, the data goes there, and the payment brand determines who is the issuer because they have all the data with them, okay? And also at the same time, they will ask that issuer to confirm the transaction, approve this transaction or purchase, because that's what I'm trying to do. Now, the issuer, the bank whom actually I am having as a cardholder as an account, okay, that bank confirms that yes, I'm having sufficient money in my account, or maybe I'm having the credit limit in my account. Then the payment brand network sends that approval to acquirer, the acquirer sends approval to the merchant, and the cardholder completes the purchase and receives the receipt. This is entire flow, what we call is the authorization flow, right? The next one which I am talking is the clearing. Clearing is the process wherein you see, now you are happy as a cardholder, you got everything what you want. Now how does the clearing happens is the, now the acquirer, please remember this particular point is very important to understand, okay? The acquirer, the bank which is connected with the merchant, and the issuer, the issuing company which confirms the approval of the purchases, need to confirm, reconfirm. Like for example, the acquiring the bank which I mentioned is SBA, which the merchant did. For example, the same Taj Hotel, the merchant did 5 transactions of worth of $50, $10. 5 Mr. Vamsi Krishna's, the customers came, they ordered a food of $10 each, 5 people, 5 transactions. They send it to the SBA, right? The SBA, as an acquirer of the Taj Hotel, they forwarded that 5 transactions, each transaction value is $10 to the payment brands, that is the Visa. I don't want to complicate here, so I'm giving the same entity's name. Visa. Then Visa asked HSBC as a issuer that $10, 5 people, all the details, Visa is asked HSBC and HSBC approved the same. Now at the end of the day, again, as a total number of transactions that particular day, the SBA says, I send you 5 transaction details. Each one is the $10. Please confirm. Then the issuer bank, the HSBC also, they confirms, yes, I have given approval for 5 transactions. Each transaction value is the $10. That is how both are confirms the transactions and the amounts. That is what actually we are trying to mention here. The acquirer sends, acquirer is the SBA bank sends purchase information to the payment branded network, because here the common connection point is the payment brands, because SBA doesn't know who is HSBC. HSBC doesn't know who is SBA. So the common connecting point is what? The payment brand network, the Visa, MasterCard, someone. So SBA will send, okay, this is the 5 transaction details I have asked, okay. So they will give the 5 transaction details. Then the payment brand networks give that information to the issuers. Again, the issuers, they confirm that yes, both are both are same equivalent. Then complete the reconciliation. I mean, yes, this much is the amount you are supposed to get it. Who? SBA, because SBA should supposed to get it $50 in the total, right? Because there is a 5 transactions which they asked it to payment brands asked it to issuer confirm it to payment brands confirm it to the SBA acquirer. So ultimately the merchant, he is supposed to get the $50. So this one actually entire what we call it is a reconciliation. So everyone knows how much money they should get it. Okay, merchant will know, okay, now my account will be credited with $50. Now the payment acquirer bank thinks, yes, I will get this money from the payment brand. Okay, now that issuer, whatever issuer say, I have to pay this much money to the this much approvals which are given, so I am supposed to pay that much amount. So everyone knows what is to be paid, what is to be received. That is what we call it as a clearing process. This clearing process generally happens within the plus 1 day. It means the transaction plus 1 day, right? That is within the 1 day it happens. Then actual the money will get into your respective entities accounts in the next day. I mean that 2 days, 2 or 1 day only. But yes, what we call it is a settlement. Settlement is something actual, that the actual money will credit into the various accounts. Okay. The issuer determines the acquirer via the payment brand network. Okay, issuer sends payments to the, for example, that HSBC is the issuer, then they will sends the payment to the acquirer, that SBI bank. Then acquirer pays, the SBI bank will pay that amount to the cardholder purchase for the merchant. So acquirer will give that money to the merchant. So this is how actually it happens. Then that HSBC banks end of the month, they will give that amount in my account. Like if I purchase $10, then I will get a credit card bill, right? Okay, here you purchase $10 amount of food, so it is comes under my statement, and I will pay that my bills, to the my issuer bank. So this is the process of the settlement. The settlement within 2 days, the merchants, everyone will get that money, and here the acquirers or the in between the processors or the Visa payment branded network, everyone will get some of the transaction fees by doing this, right? Generally the transaction fees paid by the merchant pocket, You see, the point what I just explained, the 1 day is nothing but the message is something. When you are talking, the message is right, but what we are discussing about is the clearing. Means, the clearing is not only your transaction, the clearing between the merchants entire transactions to acquirers and acquirers to payment brands. That's clearing process what we are telling. Like for example, because just I don't want to complicate, that's the reason I given the simple example of the SBI, Visa, HSBC. Just imagine, in the Taj Hotel as a merchant, he might receive, the card holders from the ICICI Bank or BNI Bank also, right? Or Simba Bank also, right? So again, that Simba or the BNI Bank, the card we will use at the Taj Hotel, and the Taj Hotel he will send that to SBI or maybe another, acquirer, SBI. Now SBI will talk to, but in that it's not only Visa, the MasterCard is there. Not only the Visa payment brand, because all the BNI cards are issued by the MasterCard. So now the card holder, the issuer, who is the issuer, BNI, and the payment brand is the MasterCard, right? But acquirer is the same. So like, SBI, so that's the reason there are multiple transactions can happen, right? Multiple transaction can happen through the same merchant. So, but the merchant supposed to complete the entire transactions of the day, and then they will submit all these details, or the acquirer will have all the details. For example, SBI will have the details of, okay, 5 Visa transactions, 5 MasterCard transactions, everything. Then they will connect to the 2 different payment brands. That 2 different payment brands will connect to the Visa is connecting to the HSBC, MasterCard is connecting to the BNI Bank. So everything needs to be, all the acquiring and the issuer supposed to settle how much money they are supposed to pay. That is the reason generally it will take 1 day time. Yes, definitely as a card holder, you are getting the instant message. Okay, this is much the, this, for example, you take, credit card also, it will get affected, right? Debit card, then immediately the bank, your issuer banks will deduct the money from the debit. Credit card, you will pay only that amount after 1 month or 45 days, right? So it is not about only you, but it's a overall process of getting the money to the merchant. Okay, hence that entire reconciliation happens in a one day. The after 1 day, how much we are supposed to pay to the acquirers or the merchants, that will be decided by these all these entities. We don't enter into that. As a cardholder, we don't know anything about this, right? It is the back end process between the acquirers, issuers, and the merchants and the payment brands. Cardholder is no more involved in this, right? So this is the settlement, where the settlement, the merchant will get the money. At that point, the issuer also give you the bill of purchase, whatever it is in your credit card statement. Then you will make the payments to the particular bank. That is how actually the entire process transaction happens. So here there are 3 stages. Authorization, that is immediately at the time of the purchase happens. Then within the 1 day, the next level is the clearing process, where that reconciliation happens. How much each entity is supposed to get the money from others. The settlement, the transaction of the money transfers happens in the settlement stage. Okay.